It's Sarah. I'm back. And update time. It's going to be short because I have not yet seen my gastroenterologist, so this is what I think is happening. But you may notice I'm a little bit happier. Also, I got my hair done, so that was nice. Sometimes you need a lift. I'm all for whatever makes you comfortable and happy, obviously. Wear my old sweatshirt. Okay, focus, Sarah. So when I last checked in with y'all, I was in the middle of what we think we still don't know, microscopic colitis flare. Go back to my last video. You can learn all about that if you're dying to know. But long story short, microscopic colitis is an autoimmune disease for the large intestine, the colon. It was diagnosed in 2020, and it has been relatively under control for a few years now. And I guess, now almost 2.5, 3 months ago, I entered a flare. And a flare in microscopic colitis for me is basically like having the disease being untreated, even though I'm still taking the same medications that previously were working. So when we were last together, I was sharing that I was in this flare and nothing was working. And so I was able to see a nurse practitioner instead of my doctor, and he gave me some ideas. And I have positive updates on one and not sure about the other one. So I had shared there are a couple of different things that we were going to try, basically just to calm my digestive tract down, and it worked. And what was that? That was taking Imodium. Please don't make me say the generic name. I always get it wrong. It's embarrassing. It's like ibuprofen and Tylenol, which is from another video, and if you know what that is, you'll understand. Okay. It's called Imodium in the US. It starts with an L. I hate not knowing how to pronounce stuff. So the idea was that I'd been taking that reactively, and that wasn't helping. But evidently, to stop a flare, you start taking the max dose of Imodium prophylactically. And so that's 4 pills in the morning, 4 pills at night. And I had said, oh my gosh, I will do anything. Maybe there'd be a lot of pain, you'd be constipated. I was like, whatever. So it worked, and it was incredibly painful, and it made me super constipated, and it was still preferable. So yeah, it's super weird because basically you're taking all of these pills on top of the normal stuff that you're taking, and it pretty much did nothing for a couple of days, and then like everything came to a grinding halt. And it was weird because I could eat again and not be quite as petrified. So I've been starting to eat a more regular diet, which is good. I'm still trying to avoid some of the normal stuff that irritates. So like no fried foods. I already don't eat dairy. I mean, having some gluten, but I didn't go like whole hog on it. Trying to stay low FODMAP. But it worked. And the pain afterwards was not great. And it was actually the same type of pain, like 8 or 9 on a scale of 10 pain. But what you do is his instructions for me, lady talking to a phone, you know this about me. The instructions were once everything starts to slow down, then you wean yourself off the Imodium. Maybe me, I did it too fast the first time and it didn't solve anything, and we were right back where we were. So right now I'm taking just 2 Imodium pills in the morning, and I have a vacation in a couple of weeks. I'm going to try to go off altogether. I'm kind of like keeping it for now for just like other reasons, like life reasons, because I've had now a couple weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks with like more manageable digestion, and I gotta hold it for a little bit to get through some like other life stuff, and then I'm gonna try to go fully off and see what happens, which is amazing. I did not know this worked, but it did work for me, so I didn't have to do cholestyramine, thank God. Again, I will do anything They didn't even give me the good flavor. They gave me like crappy orange tangerine flavor, which I don't want. But I digress. Second part of the update is my test came back. So all of these tests that we did, we know I have slightly high LDL. So he was looking for some other things, no pathogens, no parasites, none of that stuff. By the way, if you watch anything on TikTok and Instagram, you do not have parasites. Very unlikely if you live in most places in the US where I'm from. You do not have parasites. You do not need to do a cleanse. You don't need to do enemas. You don't need to do any of that stuff. You don't need to take antiparasitics. You do not need to do that stuff. It is all crock. Don't spend your money. But we did find one thing. And when I say we, I mean like he found stuff and I listened to him. And this is where I'm kind of like, ooh, so like glad to have no pathogens, no other things that they can see. My pancreatic enzymes are low. And my first thought, like if I say pancreatic, you say cancer was my first thought. And pancreatic cancer is like one of the nastiest ones. So just as a reminder, what even is the pancreas? So the pancreas sits behind the stomach and it's a little organ. And I believe that's where all the juices and enzymes come from. But I'm not committed to learning all the pancreas until we're convinced that it's actually something wrong with my pancreas. Because I'll get to like the which came first thing. I am tired of organs in my body cavity having problems. We need to stop. Liver, finally okay. Colon, like we're doing better. No more. Just that's enough. That's enough. So pancreatic enzymes, this is what breaks down the food and makes it more easily digestible. So ironically, something like IBD, pancreatic insufficiency, which is what this test would suggest that I have mild to moderate, can be the cause of bowel problems or can be caused by bowel problems. So is this something new? One of the causes of this is IBD. Like IBD can cause pancreatic insufficiency. Which is it? Which is it? I would just like to know what's going on. It could be, there's tons of things that can cause pancreatic insufficiency, even just pancreatitis, which is inflammation. Itis, our friend, itis, inflammation. I do not need any more itis. I have colitis, I have hepatitis. I do not need another itis again. So that's kind of the next question. The nurse practitioner isn't amazing. He's not going to diagnose. So I'm going to connect with him this week and see if we can do another test or when we can do another test or like how would we confirm what's going on with my pancreas. And I was just like, please let it be a biopsy because I would love another needle stuck in my body to figure out what's wrong with that one. But the good news is in the short term, this is relatively fixable by these little guys. And these are, little shaker. These are my new pancreatic enzymes. So Creon is the brand. I think it's a brand. Or Creon's the type of enzyme. I don't know. Again, I'm not committing to learning a lot about this until we're convinced that this is actually a thing because I do have other hobbies, believe it or not, than like learning about organs and what can go wrong with them. So these have 3 different enzymes: lipase, protease, and amylase. I hope I'm saying those right. Again, I'm not going to go too deep yet. But you take them with meals. So you take 2 with each meal, like 1 with a snack. And the idea is that they are supplementing the enzymes that my pancreas is not currently producing. And in theory, that means all the food's going to get broken down the way that it should. That means it's going to like move through my body the way that it should. It's a lot. And I just would like to understand what's going on. In the meantime, I feel 1,000 times better. I'm not going to the bathroom 15 times a day anymore. I appreciate that. I am in a lot less pain. I think only once in the last week or so was like really, really bad abdominal pain. So I'm so thankful for that. And this means that I can eat with slightly more variation. Again, still eating a more limited diet, but this has been so helpful to have this like intermediate appointment. I don't know why more doctors' offices or practices don't do this. This honestly will save me like 2 months of just like feeling like garbage. So thank you. Thank you for that. And I would like to understand more about my pancreas and what is actually going on. And do we think that this is something separate or that it's been triggered by the colitis, and that once the colitis is calm, which it seems to be, then we can stop this nonsense. Yeah, I think it's a lot. It's a lot of different things, but the whole thing I find with chronic illness, especially autoimmune diseases, is you just have to keep going and keep asking questions, keep understanding a little bit more, and yeah, go from there. So that's my update, and I have a couple more weeks, and then I have my gastroenterologist, and then I don't think anyone's as excited as I am to see my gastroenterologist or my hepatologist, but I love them both, and they help me stay healthy. So I hope you are nice and healthy, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Chat soon.